welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
And this episode, number 72, is brought to you by MegaCon. MegaCon 2014. You can get your tickets at megaconvention.com.
MegaCon is Orlando's, maybe even Florida's, biggest convention. It's composed of sci-fi, anime, video games, movies, pretty much anything that you can think of.
Huge on comics, a lot of big artists, big on entertainment. We're going to cover some of the guests later on in the episode. But again, you can get your tickets at megaconvention.com.
Definitely something you want to pick up early because the lines at the doors are ridiculous. And you save a little bit of money if you pre-order them.
And a lot of bit of time.
Yeah. For those of you listening to us for the first time, welcome. This is a podcast where we talk about video games, comic books, movies, the things that make us broke throughout the week. How we kind of structure it, we start out with a little bit of news, and then we move into our comic books later on.
Yeah, our comics, we mainly talk about just what's on our pull list. If there is something that you want to discuss, you can find us on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke.
Our first bit of news, Batman vs. Superman, or Superman is in Love with Batman, has been delayed until May 2016.
The original date was going to be a little over a year from now. We're going to see a summer 2015 release. Now it's coming out two and a half almost years from now, 2016.
Everybody, calm down. They only delay things to make them better. I don't see a problem with it.
Didn't most of you say you weren't going to see this anyway because Ben Affleck was cast as Batman?
This is true.
Well, now I want to see it because they're going to make it into the Justice League.
Wow.
So the reason Warner Brothers is giving for this is that they said they want to bring Zack Snyder's vision to life and they want to give it a little bit of extra time for it. I think it's the Justice League. I think they're going to straight up just go, you know what? We got Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. Now we're going to throw in Aquaman and The Flash and Cyborg. I think they're all going to be in there. I think it's going to be a Justice League movie right up there with Avengers 2, which comes out, I think, right before it.
I don't know. I mean, I'd hope so. I'd love to see a Justice League movie, but I think it would be beneficial for them to introduce this Batman and kind of create a relationship between the two before jumping into, and now we're a team, or Batman's acquaintances.
So you want to see the moment that Superman really falls in love with Batman.
Yes.
Superman,
Hear that epic music, which will play for you now.
The Superman Loves Batman theme song.
I can lift you up. I can show you what you want to see and take you where you want to be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're safe and sound.
If they actually played that in the movie, like he turns and looks at him, I could lift, I'd be like, wow! My head would explode.
It could even be during the credits. That's fine.
That's fine too. But it'd be like, well, we'd make an A, or I guess it's not A and B, but we'd re-edit it to make a music video of it. That'd be great.
I think it's good with the stuff that they seem to be adding to the script, which from the sound of it doesn't look like it's completely finalized. They've got the costume down. Kevin Smith on Fat Man on Batman on the newest episode went into a little more detail about the costume that he saw. He said it was very familiar to comic book fans. And the way that he says it and how excited he is and how much he loves The Dark Knight Returns, I think it's going to be something closer to that. The Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller costume.
I would like to see an animated series costume. Or even Greg Capullo's right now is awesome.
The New 52 one?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the purple gloves? Or
No.
So not the 0 year
Not
one.
the 0 year. Regular New 52.
Okay.
Old man jaded Batman. He's past all that the 0 year stuff.
So you like Jim Lee's design with like
Yeah.
the stripes and the ridges in the actual armor and
The
the
one
costumes.
where he makes out with Catwoman?
I don't remember
Because
any
they're
of
in
this.
love? Because they're in love.
So I think the delay is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's better than a rushed movie. If they want to make it into a bigger thing, maybe they got more money thrown at them from Warner Brothers.
Take
That's
my
fine.
money! They had fans throwing money at the computer screens. What are you talking about?
As they complained about Ben Affleck.
Here's more money to make it better.
You know what's going to happen? As soon as they release that first photo of Batman and Superman in their new costumes, everyone's going to be like, they're going to completely forget that they complained about Batfleck. It's going to be completely gone. They're going to pretend they never, well, I just wanted to see him in costume. Now that I see him in costume, I can see how he's shut up.
I'm just glad they pushed it back now and not after we've seen trailers. or
That's
teaser
true.
trailers.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be even more pissed. Be like, it's right here, guys. Like, what's the problem? It's right. It's practically done. It's right here.
None of that post-production shit. Just release it.
Editing? What? He can't really fly? What are those strings? Like, that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah. So May 2016, we'll talk about it on the podcast in May 2016.
We'll be so old by then.
I know.
Ew.
Yeah, I'll have a cane.
I'll be past my prime.
I'll be like old man Bruce.
My childbearing years will be over.
Find the Lazarus Pit. You'll be fine. Speaking of Lazarus Pit, though, Son of Batman. That's the next DC animated movie that's coming out, and the trailer just got released this week.
Looks amazing. This is the story of Damien. It kind of looks like it's pulling from a few different sources to make up this story, but it's pretty much... Do we spoil it? Let's spoil it.
Yeah, if you want to pause the podcast now, go on YouTube, search Son of Batman trailer. It's like the first search right there. They still have it up. If not, some other user at some point will upload it.
But it is a story of how Damien comes to be with Batman. Slade shows up and he's like, "I'ma kill you, Raish," and he kills Raish. And then Slade's like, "Nah, I'ma kill you, Talia." And then he contacts Damien and is like, "Come save your mother."
Why don't you just kill her and then come after Damien? Because this is more dramatic.
He's all about the drama. I still think, and I'm calling it now, right now, you heard it here first, I think Slade is really Raish.
Oh, man, that'd be so cool.
Yep. Called it. Saying it now.
I don't think that's what's going to happen,
I'm calling it.
but that would be awesome.
Like at the end,
Like he's testing him the whole time?
Yes.
To see how good he is?
Yep.
That's awesome. What do you think, Brokettes? Go on Twitter, @ReasonsI'mBroke. Do you think Kelly's theory is correct? Or do you think that is a cool theory? Even if it doesn't happen, how awesome would it be?
All the Slade Wilsonites are like, no, Slade is Raish too. Makes no sense.
Slade Al Ghul.
They're in love? Did they get married?
So the story is a little different. They're going into like that Teen Titans territory where Slade, for some reason, always goes after the little kids, can never go after Batman because he knows he won't go up against Batman.
He's in love with Batman, but Slade, okay, he did have a thing for Robin and Teen Titans. He did.
See, I never really saw a lot of Teen Titans,
Go back and
but
you only need to see like one episode. It's there because he's always like, Robin, I did some things. Come chase me. That's all he did.
So here he kidnaps Talia and says, "Damien, you can find me over here." Damien wants to kill Slade already because he murdered his grandfather, but now he took his mother. And Batman's telling him, "No, we don't murder." So that's probably going to be the conflict or the conclusion to this movie, where Damien probably defeats Slade and he's at that point where he can murder him, decapitate him or whatever Damien does. And Batman will stop him, talk him down, and he'll spare Slade's life.
Or Ra's al Ghul's, because Ra's al Ghul is Slade.
That was kind of silly, though. I was like, Ra's can't die. What do you mean Slade killed Ra's?
See,
Ra's al Ghul, the guy that has lifetimes of experience?
either that or Ra's hired Slade, which is probably most likely.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Either way, I
See,
pre-ordered it. I haven't even seen this. I'm purchasing this thing.
I will say my one criticism with it is Damien's voice. I understand they wanted to get like a 10-year-old because Damien's 10. I think it would have been better to get someone who is a little older and more experienced and could bring that cockiness to the acting that is so iconic for Damien. Because Damien's like, he's a little brat and he's cocky and you hate him but you love him. And in this little bit that we've heard of him in the trailer, I didn't hear any of that. I'm just like, you kind of sound like Aang from The Last Airbender.
Yeah, see, I had no problem with the voice. I actually liked it just fine. It
You
did
liked
sound like
everything
Aang, though.
about this movie.
I
Like,
did. I had
you
no
watched the
problem.
trailer, and then his brother walks in the room, and he's like, "Did you see the trailer? Here, let's watch the trailer." And then I walked in, let's watch the trailer again. You watch it like 20 times.
I'm really excited for this movie. I can't wait to watch it.
Now I think would be a good time to jump back into Fat Man on Batman. You said you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, aside from the costume that I still think might be something closer to The Dark Knight Returns, the last episode he did talk about Bill Finger. And this was a great episode. If you go on iTunes, search Fat Man on Batman, go to the latest one on the description. They should talk about how he has this author that wrote this book outlining how much this man, Bill Finger, actually contributed and mainly created for the character of Batman. So not so much Bob Kane from this podcast. You'll hear all about it, but the book itself gets really specific on everything that Bob Kane came up with and everything that Bill Finger came up with. And it's very clear that Bill Finger's name should be the one in every Batman comic book instead of Bob Kane's. It's pretty amazing.
Bob Kane, you dick. He's like, no, mine.
I did it.
I want to know, like, okay, here's what happened. I'm going to break the story down for you. One night, Bill and Bob, they made a pretty cool thing called Batman. Excited, go out to the bar, drink a little bit, drink a little too much. Bill starts getting a little handsy on Bob. Bob says, whoa, calm down. And Bill's like, oh, shit, thanks, man. Don't ever tell anybody. He's like, I won't. But who created Batman? And here we are today.
So apparently what happened is Bill was a little bit of a pushover with the character and with his work. He was just happy to have a job at DC Comics. So when Bob started taking credit for almost all of Batman, Bill just kind of let him run with it because he was just happy to have a job. And no one really anticipated that Batman would take off the way it did. And 9 years after the Batman Adam West series came about, that's when Bill Finger passed away. So it was, I think, 9 years also that he was out of work, that they kind of phased him out of DC Comics. And now this information is coming up that Bill Finger is actually the one that needs to receive the credit for the Batman character. And they're working on the documentary next. And it's just, this information has always been there, but now someone's actually telling the story of that. And I think it's great. I think it's an important thing for the guy isn't alive anymore, but for people to know that it's not just Bob Kane, but Bill Finger actually had a majority of this. And one of our favorite artists, Ty Templeton, he actually illustrates the story. He illustrates a comic on his website, tytempleton.com, I believe, of what Bob Kane's Batman would actually look like if Bill Finger had no influence. And it's like this very generic character with like a domino mask and like a red cape. And he's like, well, I wish I had a vehicle to go home in, some kind of mobile vehicle. And you just see him walk down the street, and it's really funny. You guys have to check it out on Ty Templeton's site, and definitely check out that Batman episode because it's really good.
Sounds like it. I'm still saying Bill should have kept his hands to himself.
It's Bill's fault. On to some comic book news.
Yeah, something that's causing a lot of controversy right now is the variant cover to Powerpuff Girls number 6. It's actually been pulled by Cartoon Network because of the nature of this cover.
Yeah, the story you can read on Kotaku.com. The headline is Sexy Powerpuff Girls cover gets pulled for being controversial. And you can see the cover on the Kotaku website, but it's essentially the Powerpuff Girls. If you know any variants, it's always a new artist, someone different from the comic book that has their own artistic interpretation of what the characters are, or what this cover should be. They never look exactly like what the comic book is. So this one, the way this artist's art style is, the Powerpuff Girls look a little bit older, they've got their same costumes on, and they're sitting on a defeated Mojo Jojo.
The thing that has everybody losing their minds is the girls are older. They drew them late teens,
Probably.
I would guess. And if you know about their costumes, their short skirts, their thigh-high socks, people are out of their minds. But continue. Quotes.
So it sounds like it started by a comics retailer by the name of Dennis Barger Jr., who went on Facebook and he said, "Are we seriously sexualizing preteen girls like perverted writing fan fiction writers on the internet?" Yes, that's actually his sentence that he put up, just like that. Is that what this shit has gotten to?
Now, excuse me, Dennis. Just take a step back for a second. Fan fiction is amazing.
That's Kelly's problem with this.
That's my problem. How dare you talk down to fan fiction? They have to go through some tough shit, man. They get flames all the time. People are like, your writing sucks. Nah. And I'm like, it's free writing. Just calm down, sir.
Oh, did you pay for it? No? Okay. But the artist of the cover actually had some words to say as well. Her name is Mimi Yoon. On Facebook, she said, "One opinionated dog barks, I'm fine with that, and the rest of the pack barks pretending to know what they're barking about. Hate those idiots. Tisk, tisk, tisk."
Good for her. I approve. She likes fan fiction too, I can tell.
Unfortunately, eventually, Cartoon Network decided that it was best to just pull the cover altogether and avoid all the controversy. What's funny about this is this cover, he calls it sexualizing. What is sexualizing about this? Just the fact that they're older? You said the costume was a little bit shorter, and but it's not like they have like their legs spread open and
Right,
like ripped costumes or something.
There's nothing. There's the thing. You know what I think it is? Man, I keep making generalizations and making up stories today.
The guy was turned on by it and he felt guilty?
No, I think the guy's a pedophile. And he's like, oh, kindergarten. Oh. Because he did point out, okay, yes, these girls are kindergartners. But there's absolutely nothing. Like, this picture was not drawn as sexualizing kindergartners. This is, in the future, when the girls are older, they're still going to be doing the same thing. This is how they're going to look. And I'm sorry that they drew them in the same costumes, which, yeah, are thigh-high socks and a mini skirt, which really, it's not really that mini.
But even then, just the fact that it's a mini skirt, that's sexualizing it. It has a lot to do with the pose, and the pose is fine. They're sitting on Mojo Jojo. He's gone. He's defeated. There's nothing sexual about it.
Mojo wasn't looking up skirts or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Even the eyes, it's not like one of them is looking up or anything.
Right. They look like strong, powerful superheroes who are teenagers and sisters, and I don't know. I didn't see anything sexual about it.
On top of that, this is a variant cover, so it's not like this is going to be every single issue's cover from the get-go. You don't have to get it. It goes right back to that Detective Comics cover, like that Frank Miller one with Catwoman, which DC put out. You don't have to get it. Don't buy it. Don't like it. Don't purchase it. That's the best part about a variant cover. You don't have to get it.
Well, and that's how you tell them what you like, is with your money. So let all the rest of us say we like it with our money. You just keep your other cover.
But now it's gone, so they'll come up with something else. It sucks for the artist. Anyone, I guess, looking forward to the cover. I wasn't going to buy it, but it's just more about the fact that one person said it, and now it's like a thing, and Cartoon Network had to pull it. So we found that really silly. Yeah. We actually ended up agreeing on that.
Mm-hmm. You didn't think we would? You think I would have been like, it's too sexual?
I was not going to share my opinion until I heard yours. And yeah, we're both very rational. Anyone that disagrees otherwise is... No, but however you may have viewed the cover, do you think it's controversial? Again, check out the cover, the variant, Powerpuff Girls #6 variant on Google. Let us know on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke.
I want to know what Gail Simone thinks about this. She's all into her strong women.
I should retweet it with Tara Strong also, because she voiced Bubbles.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'd be fine with it, though.
Yeah, I'm sure she wouldn't care.
Something I kept refreshing on newsarama.com.
You did. It was so funny.
The DC Comics April solicitations have been released. We've got some bullet points here on what we learned from those solicitations. You can check them out on newsarama.com.
First up, we have a new leader to the Justice League starting in April with Justice League number 30. Let's get a drum roll, please. Lex Luthor will be running the Justice League.
He will be the new leader of the team. On the cover, he's got his arms crossed like a boss. Batman's kind of looking at him. Aquaman doesn't seem... None of them really seem too happy about it. Maybe Flash is kind of like, whatever. But I think Batman and Luthor will make a good team.
I think they will, too. I know Superman's going to be all pissy about it. First, he's going to be like, Or he's going to be mad at Batman initially. Like, you know how wives get mad at their husbands? When they're like, how could you hang out with him? Like... He's a bad influence on you. He's going to be mad initially. And then he's probably going to be mad at Luthor about something. He's just going to be a drama queen.
He is. This is Superman's like, he hates this, but it's also like he loves it because he could just try to get Batman's attention even more.
Yeah.
Now he could just act up. He has an excuse to act up.
He's waiting for Luthor to mess up so that Batman can turn his attentions back to him, but he's not going to turn his attentions back to him.
I think this is cool. I think we like Luthor, especially after that last Forever Evil issue. We kept talking about that soft side of Luthor that he had with Bizarro, and just that issue was great. I really liked that Forever Evil issue, but to see him with the Justice League working together, especially with someone like Batman, who's also probably more intelligent than Luthor, let's face it. It's
definitely more intelligent.
The leader's still Batman, but Batman's
yeah.
going to do that thing where he lets you think you're the leader, kind of like he does with Superman, but he'll do it with Luthor, and I think he can do it with Luthor because his ego is so big that he will not even notice that Batman is actually the guy that's running things. But this will make for an interesting Justice League.
I think it's going to be great. I can't wait.
Next bullet point, Batman Eternal. The new Batman weekly comic will launch in April with talents such as Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, John Layman, Ray Fox.
Dustin Wynn.
and more. This comic will have the first appearance of New 52 Stephanie Brown,
Awesome.
which fans have been asking for. I don't know why.
Every character is somebody's favorite character, Dan.
That's true.
So just the Sewer King, somebody out there loves him.
Are you sure?
Yeah, probably some kid who lives in a sewer and he's like, I could be like him someday.
The one I relate to. So this weekly comic we won't be buying. It's way too expensive, but we'll probably pick up the Dustin Wynn issue.
Yeah. Was there a question about that?
No, not
Hey,
at all.
Kelly, should we pick up this? Yes. You don't even have to ask anymore. Just buy it.
So for a while, we didn't know exactly when Batman Eternal was going to launch. Now we know for sure April. They actually have 3 issues up there since, again, it is going to be a weekly comic.
And while one new comic joins us, we have a few more that are leaving. Nightwing, Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, and Superman Unchained.
Superman Unchained will go up to number 9, and then it will end. That's the one of the 4 that got canceled that we were still picking up.
Suicide Squad, not sad to see it go.
Me neither.
Sorry, Harley. They did you no justice.
Nope.
Nightwing, it had a good run.
Yeah, we ended up dropping it after... we got what, 2 arcs? Maybe 3 almost?
Yeah, something like that. Now, see, if you had thrown Starfire in there and had a love story, I'd still be picking it up. But you didn't.
I think this means that Nightwing is going to get a relaunch. I don't know if it's going to be under a new title or just Nightwing again, but with the new character. Hopefully Dustin Wynn is actually, if he is the artist to this new Nightwing book, done, sold, added, or if it's even Harper Row, sold.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see Harper Row as Nightwing, drawn by Dustin Wynn.
That'd be awesome.
Amazing. And finally, Teen Titans. I don't think we picked up any of these.
No, and I didn't hear like amazing things from it, so.
Again, Nightwing Starfire love story. What about it?
But now that a couple of these are ending, now people are like, why are you ending Teen Titans? It's like, were you buying them? Or no.
I meant the TV show. That ended a long time ago, sir.
Yeah. There's a rumor that Raven from Teen Titans actually might get her own single
That'd be
book.
pretty cool. She's a cool character. I like her.
Another solicitation that I'm actually really excited about. This is probably the one that I'm most looking forward to. Batman and Wonder Woman. This is a part of the Batman and Robin comic book. As you know, he has previously teamed up with Two-Face. He's going to team up with Aquaman, Red Robin, Nightwing. We all saw that. Next is Wonder Woman, who will stand in his way as he searches for Damian's remains.
Spooky. That's right. Damian's remains. Damian's.
Maybe he found Talia's.
No.
It's just a summary.
No,
It doesn't mean that's what's
no.
going to happen.
Who? Who?
The cover is really nice. It's done by Patrick Gleason. And he's got Batman right behind Wonder Woman. He's holding 2 skulls, one of which is Talia's because you see the bullet hole right on her forehead, and the other one is Damian's.
That'll be cool. Lining it up great to bring Damian back.
I think it's about time. You know, we like the character. We miss him, so.
It'll be interesting, too. Are Superman and Wonder Woman no longer a couple at this point?
No, they're still together because of that Superman and Wonder Woman book. Like the last one, the paparazzi got out that they're actually together so the whole world knows. And it's like, you guys are superheroes. Like, the world doesn't know your life.
Who cares? But that would be interesting if Wonder Woman had to be in a vulnerable place. And Batman was there. Superman wouldn't really care. He'd be more mad that she was with Batman because it's Batman, not because she's his woman. But then he'd get over it because he'd be like, kissing her is like kissing him. See, I told you I'd find Superman gay moments in this episode.
Yeah, Superman
You
loves
didn't
Batman.
believe me. Next, some really exciting news for me. Gail Simone will be returning to write Ragdoll in Batgirl number 30 as she comes after Batgirl.
Ragdoll, big character.
Spooky.
Secret Six, Gail Simone, Ragdoll.
Awesome.
Every time we see Gail Simone, there's always a Ragdoll cosplayer somewhere. And they always do a good job, too. It's never like a bad Ragdoll cosplay. But you see the character coming back. She's coming after Batgirl, like you mentioned. And that's going to be in Batgirl number 30.
The cover looks great for that one.
Yeah, Freddie Williams.
Ragdoll is wrapped around Batgirl and they're falling off a building. And it's like, oh, shit.
Love all those Batgirl
I know.
covers.
And I know that's probably not what's going to happen in the comic. Because
It
the
never
cover
is.
is never what happens.
Yeah.
But it looks great. Very excited.
With the cancellation of certain books comes the beginning of others. Secret Origins number 1. We're probably not going to pick that up, but Aquaman and the Others. Another Aquaman book. He's gonna it's gonna be like his Aquaman Justice League. You've seen his characters. Oh, you didn't read the second trade, but in the second trade, he's got his friends and his little team that he kind of formed at this point, and that's gonna be the bulk of what this book is gonna be about. How he works with these other characters and their relationship. Because if you read that second trade, it's all about friendship and how Aquaman.
Friendship is magic.
Just like My Little Pony. As we talked about last week, Justice League United #0 will also come in April.
The thing that cracks me up about this comic every time they mention it is like it takes place in Canada and space. What do those two things have in common?
We'll find out, apparently.
When I think of Canada, I think of maple syrup and hockey. Not space.
Not stereotyping.
Me? Stereotype? Never. Niagara Falls. Pencils. Now, okay, that comes from Fairly Odd Parents. Did you ever see that episode?
I didn't.
Where they go to Canada to Niagara Falls to the pencil something, I don't know, with a golden sharpener because his dad made pencils for a living. Mm-hmm. It was great. If any of you remember that and have seen it, you just dated yourself. But let me know about it. #reasons I'm broke on Twitter.
I like how Fairly Odd Parents is dating ourselves. Like, now that's considered an old thing.
It is old. It's what,
know,
like
that's
10
what's
years?
scary.
10 plus years?
Yeah.
When did that come out? 2000?
I think so.
That's 14 years, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a grandma. The best of my life is gone.
Meanwhile, I grew up with Batman the Animated Series,
Well, I grew up with
Teenage
that
Mutant Ninja
too.
Turtles.
I grew up with that too. But I was a girl.
So you didn't grow up with those things. Girls didn't watch those. Those were
too.
for boys.
Now who's stereotyping, Dan?
Also, Sinestro #1 will launch in April.
You know what I hope is on the cover?
Sinestro naked.
Yeah! Get ready for jokes, guys. It's gonna get old really fast.
Oh, Sinestro, you're so strong.
And naked.
Yeah, that'll be in April. I read more about this. It turns out that this is going to be like a horror story.
Ooh.
It's going to be really dark.
Fancy. Am I gonna have nightmares?
I don't know, but I hope Sinestro makes it.
Makes it naked?
Makes it out in the nude. And well, we know he's going to live. He becomes a Green Lantern, old
yeah,
man,
of course.
Sinestro.
With his old little Sinestro hand. Kind of like a little E.T. hand. That's what it looked like.
It did, yeah. But that is it for the solicitations from DC, and that will cover up our news for this week.
Mm-hmm. All of these will be launching in April. Finally, like we stated earlier, we're going to move on to our MegaCon news. Let you know who's going to be there, who they've added to the list, and occasionally people who have actually stepped down. Hopefully none of those this week.
Hopefully.
First off, we have Jimmy Chung, a comic book artist known for his work in Scion, Young Avengers, Avengers vs. X-Men, and more. He's just been added to the list.
Yeah, he's a regular at MegaCon. Usually has a line, really good artist. Make sure to catch him on March 21st through the 23rd at MegaCon.
From our experience, best time to get there. Okay, here's what you got to do, guys. I'm going to lay it down. From one MegaCon veteran. Am I a veteran?
I guess so.
I guess I'm old enough.
This is the tip for the brokettes.
Yes. Okay, so what you got to do is buy your tickets early online. If you buy them early, you get into the convention at noon instead of 1 on Friday. So you get there like 11:30, pick up your wristband, walk in, wait until they actually open the thing. They give you a little map beforehand. So you got to pick out the really good guys like we did with Greg that one year. Mm-hmm. That was great. And then as soon as they lift the thing, you got to run there. You get all your signatures done out of the way on Friday when it's slower. You spend the next 2 weeks.
I wish it was 2 weeks.
I wish, exactly. You spend the next 2 days just running around, picking up stuff, buying things, buying more things. I mean, let's be honest.
Checking out the lines that are already cut off.
And be like, guess what? Already got a signature.
Got him, got her.
Because really, if you get them at the day of, at the ticket booth, and you wait until 1 o'clock to get in, you're not going to see anybody.
Lots of luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was my MegaCon tip of the week.
There you go. Jimmy Chung, we've met him before. We got our Young Avengers, I think it was the Director's Cut #1 that we had. Got that one signed. And a couple of other Young Avengers books. He's really nice. He's great. Definitely check him out at MegaCon 2014. Again, you can get your tickets at megaconvention.com. But you were talking about the map earlier. You may not even need that anymore.
No?
You can plan ahead your MegaCon adventure. MegaCon has recently launched the MegaCon mobile app. You can download it through the Apple Store or Google Play for panel schedules, photo ops, autograph pricing,
That's amazing.
and more.
That's really cool.
It's much improved from last year. It runs great. You can check out all the panels, plan ahead of time. You don't even need that map yet. And it updates. So every time you open it, something new pops up. They'll have announcements at the actual convention that it'll go straight to your app and give you the latest news. What got canceled, what got added, and when the conventions or the panels are starting.
Why are we still doing this podcast? We got shit to do, Dan.
You got to plan this thing out.
But that sounds amazing. That will definitely help a lot. It'll help you find people too, because I know we get lost all the time.
A lot of times too is you're waiting in line to get this thing signed, right? You're like, oh, how much are they charging? I want to have my money ready so that, I can go through this process a lot quicker. There's a lot of people here, though. I can't really see the front of the table. Oh, wait, I got this device in my pocket. Pull it out, pull up the MegaCon app. Oh, he charges $25. Cool. All ready.
Then you can decide if it's really worth it to be waiting in line. Ah, man, $50. No thanks.
I like you, Q, from Star Trek, but not that much.
Well, he's also the dragon for My Little Pony.
Yeah, that really blew up for him.
That was awesome.
That's part of the Brony documentary. If you ever have a chance, go on Netflix, search up, I think it's called Bronies, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
The whole title.
Bronies.
He's in that. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. But to wrap up our MegaCon 2014 news, once again, the dates are March 21st through the 23rd. You can pre-order your tickets at megaconvention.com.
Do not wait. The earlier, the better. Now we can jump into comics.
Woo! Butterfly dive into the pool of comics.
A la Uncle Scrooge. Start off with Indie, then move on to DC. No Marvel books this week.
Good. I mean,
we like Spider-Man.
I do, but I like
actually,
Batman more.
I added Silver Surfer to our pull list.
Dougie Jones?
We'll pretend it's Doug Jones.
Okay. Good. He can do little faces like...
Yeah. It's being written by Dan Slott, actually.
Oh,
Superior
good.
Spider-Man, yep.
Good.
Mike Allred is drawing.
Mm-hmm. And Dougie Jones is starring.
Exactly. Doug Jones as the Silver Surfer. Our first indie book.
Bravest Warriors number 16. This is written by Tessa Stone and Ryan Pequin, with art by Mike Holmes and Ryan Pequin. May I just point out the variant for this book is amazing.
Yes, it is.
You have kind of like watercolor catbug.
With like a wood texture.
Oh, it's so cool.
And then catbug in all white.
And he goes, Rebecca!
Shoot.
That was great. Best
Sugar
soap opera.
peas.
Drop them.
Okay.
We're going to be friends now. We're having tacos later. I love that kid.
So many quotes. Every catbug quote is one of the best quotes.
Absolutely. I don't think there has been a bad catbug line.
But this Bravest Warriors story, not too much catbug in this first one actually, but it's about an alien species that attaches himself to, I'm going to call him Finn. I know it's Chris, but it's Finn from Adventure Time, to Finn's head, and is actually, I guess, feeding off the dreams. And if you leave that alien on too long, you actually go into a coma.
Mm-hmm. But Wallow is the only one who hasn't been taken over, as actually all the rest of the warriors have been. And his little arm plate's like, well, just pull it off. He's like, no, I'll kill it. That's not nice. So he actually has to go into his friend's dreams to kind of reason with this alien being. And it makes for some really funny writing.
Especially if you know the characters and you see like the unicorns.
The manicorns?
Yeah, the manicorns in one of their dreams. Like if you watch the show, it's even funnier.
With
like,
butter lettuce floating around. But
butter
yeah,
lettuce party.
It's really funny. You find, I think one of my favorite moments is when he goes into Chris's dream, and it's this big creepy alien, and he's like losing his mind, and Wallow's like, do you want some tea? And then they're just having a tea party all of a sudden, and the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, thank you for explaining to me that I can't do this because I'm really killing this guy. And he's like, oh, you're welcome. And that's how he stops them. It's great.
It's a good story. The second one was Yay Camping. That's by Ryan Pequin. This does have a lot of catbug in it.
Oh, catbug.
Catbug and Wallow.
Wallow takes catbug camping. He's going to teach him how to survive in the wilderness, and everything he's trying to teach him goes wrong.
Pretty much.
He sets something else on fire. He sets Wallow on fire, actually, when he's trying to start a campfire. And
But Catbug's never the one that gets hurt, and he's never the one that loses, because he's motherfucking Catbug.
So Wallow was like, you know what, this is my favorite part of this whole comic book. Let's just go find food. We'll go our separate ways. We'll meet in the middle. And Wallow's out. He's like, I feel so bad for Catbug. He's probably scared right now and really hungry. And he comes back to camp. And here's Catbug having started a fire with his big old animal, like...
It's like a moose alien.
10 times the size of Catbug. And he's like, I don't know if I can eat this, but I killed it. I think I'm getting the hang of this camping thing. It's like, how'd you kill that Catbug?
He's a badass.
He is. He's awesome.
So we recommend that it was awesome.
Definitely.
Next one is Samurai Jack #4, written by Jim Zub, art by Andy Suriano.
This was a great issue, too.
Yeah, Jack is continuing his journey to collect the different threads of time so he can make it back into his own time and put a stop to Mako.
Uncle Iroh.
Yeah.
That'd be great. No, it's Aku.
Aku, fine.
Aku. Thank you. Once again, the art is great in this. The writing is great. You really feel for Jack and what he's going through, and even for the people that he runs into along the way.
I like that every single issue is a standalone one. Mm-hmm. It's all a single adventure in one book. Like, yeah, there's a goal at the very end of it, but every single one is like its own story. So you can jump onto the Samurai Jack series at any time. You want to pick up #5? Go for it. All you need to know. And it says at the very beginning, he's collecting the threads of time to try to get back to his own time to stop Aku. Done. Here's the story. Here's this adventure.
The writer's like, I'm just waiting to get canceled like the show did.
Yeah, I don't know how sales are on this, but they should be good because any Samurai Jack fan should be picking up this book.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Jim Zub is great with his writing, and Andy Suriano's art is amazing. That'll do it for our indie books this week. We're going to move into DC. First up, we have Batman #27, written by Scott Snyder, with art by Greg Capullo and Danny Mickey. This is continuing the Batman 0 year with his little purple gloves.
Yeah, purple gloves.
Fabulous. This was a really, really great issue. Might actually be my pick of the week.
It's my pick of the week as well, without a doubt.
We actually agreed for once.
We say that every
Nobody's getting
time.
slapped around tonight. But it is great. We get to see a lot of Gordon in it, and I think that's what I like the most.
Right.
Batman and Alfred were great, but it was the Gordon. It got me right here.
Yeah.
Right in the heart.
Mm-hmm. If you remember last month, we talked about how Gordon, it almost seemed like he was someone that accepted a gift, so he would have been corrupt. And that's why Batman acts kind of bitchy towards him at first. And I remember we both were like, they're going to come back to this. Just wait for it, Batman. You're going to feel like shit. And he did.
Stop for throwing your diva moment. Just calm down.
You've been around Superman way too long. He's rubbing off on you. So you see how there's a deeper story to Gordon and what he does for Gotham and how he relates to Bruce Wayne without knowing that the guy he's telling the story to is Bruce Wayne,
That was
is
so
Batman.
great.
I mean, that's a great moment. The other one also is Alfred, when he's pretty much telling Batman that you are only Batman and you're putting us through this pain because we weren't there for you when your parents were killed. So you're having us bear witness. And that's straight out of the book.
He's such a diva. You guys weren't there, so I'm gonna... And you accepted that gift from Lindsay, and you knew we weren't friends.
I'm hoping that that's another moment, though, where Batman actually, by the end of the story, tells Alfred, no, I'm not putting you guys through this or something. He denies it in this, but he doesn't really defend his position.
Right. I think he's going to come back and understand that, like Alfred said, he wouldn't survive and Batman wouldn't survive if this was his only motivation for what he was doing, if he carried on this way. So I think we're definitely going to see Batman come to terms with that and begin to work with Jim Gordon and begin to work with Alfred. And definitely by the end of this arc, we're going to see a change in him. It's going to be amazing. It was an amazing book.
Yeah, character growth. It always seems like at the end of one of these arcs, you see Batman grow just a little bit more and learn something new about whether it's the city, like in the Court of Owls, or in this case, it's about the people around him, the people that he refuses help from, that he should be getting help from, because they are on his side.
The thing I think I like most about this book, too, is, we've seen where Batman is going to go. And him where he will be seems so much sweeter because of the struggle and the development and the backgrounds of the characters that we're seeing now. So I'm like, oh man, they're having to go through all this stuff, but holy shit, that turned them into that, and that was amazing. Mm-hmm. Especially Jim Gordon. I have a soft spot for Jim.
Yeah, I love Jim Gordon. Another creation, by the way, by Billy Finger.
Really?
Yep.
Man, I saw a great thing. I'm sorry. Speaking of Jim Gordon, did you know there's Batman shampoo?
I'm sure there is.
But there's no conditioner Gordon.
Damn.
One of my friends from work sent me that. It was great. I laughed so hard.
Something else that I want to touch on this book here, FCO on his coloring. I mean, this is something
It was
like
beautiful.
it was amazing. Like you see all these colors at some of these moments when he's in the Batcave, and it all works. There's like 10 different colors, and it all works with Greg Capullo's drawing, with the inking. I think this is one of the best colored books so far by FCO.
Especially, I think it was one of the first panels. It was in the very beginning when we were back, and I think we're going to get back to that. Because we jumped back to Japan in, what was it, 46?
I believe so.
Something like that.
Yeah, 1946.
And it's this very beautiful and soft and almost, I can't think of how to put
Dreamlike.
it. Yeah, very dreamlike. And we just get one page of it, of this singer.
It's like a symbol, right?
Yep, and it's beautiful. And now we're back in the present. And he kind of keeps that same dreamlike, but makes it more, oh man, it was so good. I just don't have words for it. But he makes it more real and scary that he's in this moment and going through what he's going through.
Yeah.
But I think that first page is going to be really, maybe not in this arc, maybe in the next one, but it's going to be really important for the story.
So our pick of the week, Batman number 27. A close second, however, is Batman and Two-Face number 27. It's written by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Pat Gleason and Mick Gray.
Yep, we are coming to the conclusion of this arc. We get to see more of Dent, and I think I felt for him more in this book than I have in any of the rest of them.
Yeah, because we got even more background information. Every time we get more on this Batman and Two-Face, you learn a little bit more. This issue, it's about Two-Face. This issue, it's about Aaron. And then now we're back to Two-Face again. I mean, it's part of that duality symbol as well, not just in the story itself, but in the way that they tell the story, this arc. And it's beautiful, and it does work with Batman's current team up, and it just makes me more excited to see what we're going to see with Aquaman and the Wonder Woman. But this one in particular, you can tell that they really wanted to tell the story and they wanted to expand on it.
I think we only have one more issue in this arc.
I believe so, yeah. The
Do
next
you
one
think?
should be the end of it, and then we'll have them team up with Aquaman.
Mm-hmm. Next one will be epic, though. Two-Face does get captured in this one by the mob. Aaron's family who betrayed her.
Someone that wants to show Gotham that you need to execute the criminals of Gotham, and they're going to make Two-Face an example. So Batman now has to rescue Harvey Dent.
I do want to point out that there was a beautiful page in this book when they burst into the little...
Like bar?
No! When they burst into where they keep all the bodies.
The cemetery? The morgue?
Yeah. Well, it's not the morgue. It's the little... they have the little houses in the cemetery where they keep extra bodies. Mm-hmm. And there's just Batman's reliving what... Yes, that page. Where he's relived what he's been up to at this point with dealing with Damian's death. And now he's in this place of death. I had so much feeling and tears.
Like he's talking to Aaron and Two-Face in this scene, and he's trying to get them to understand how they have to put aside their history, but really he's talking to himself, and that's represented by that border of just that struggle that he's had with himself and dealing with Damian. So you can see that this is all still Batman dealing with Damian, and it's all still right there in his mind as he's trying to rescue these two people that aren't good people.
Ah, it was great. So much feeling.
So that was really good. Batman and Two-Face number 27. After number 28, you can go ahead and jump in if you're looking for a jumping point with number 29. But I still hope you somehow pick up the trade when it's available because it's definitely worth it.
Next is Batman Beyond Universe number 6, written by Kyle Higgins and Christos Gage, with art by Tony Silas and Ivan Coelho.
Yeah, you get 2 parts in this comic book. You get the Justice League portion, Justice League Beyond, and then you get Batman Beyond.
No more Dust and Wind, though.
No more Dust and Wind. But in this first one, it's Brainiac, returning, always undefeated. But this time he wants to make Earth his own. He wants to be a part of Earth.
That's so cool.
Make Earth into like...
A Brainiac face?
He does, yeah. It's like a biological computer. And so he's literally... He is Earth.
If you remember, Brainiac used to be Krypton, though.
Right.
Brainiac was a Krypton supercomputer. He was a part of the planet. So he's been out all over the place, looking for stuff, collecting information, and now he's decided that he is going to become Earth.
like I think Superman says, he's going back to his roots of Krypton, and he said, like you said, he makes Earth his new Krypton, in a manner of speaking.
Yep. We get some cool stuff in here, though. We get to see some of Barda, Big Barda, and her husband, and I thought that was a really sweet interaction.
Yeah, I think it's important that they develop characters like these, because especially the Justice League Beyond, it's not Wonder Woman, it's not Hawkman, so we're not really too familiar with these other than what we got from the show, and even then it was very brief. So here in the comics, you're getting these moments in which Barda chooses Earth over Apocalypse, and really creating character for these guys. And when you have them coupled up with like their significant other, and they're actually making an important decision in the middle of this gigantic battle, this war that will affect the rest of their lives, that's what the reader likes, and that's how you should do the character development for books like these, with characters minor, like in the animated.
It makes them very realistic. That, oh, you're functioning as a couple, not, I'm going to go do this, you go do that. We're heroes. We'll come back together in the end. Because that's not how relationships work, guys. I do like, too, this is very much picking up exactly where the show left off.
And also where the previous comic left off, because before Batman Beyond Universe, I think it was called Batman Beyond Unlimited.
Something like that.
But now with this relaunch, it did pick up, like you said, right where it left off.
But it's like the show where there's that moment where Brainiac's talking about, or Superman goes in and he's like, Brainiac, I'm gonna stop you. Where's Lex Luthor? I know he's inside your head. Because that's how Superman talks now. And Brainiac's like, no, I know he tried to piece me back together and accidentally pieced back Apocalypse. Not Apocalypse, Darkseid. And that was how it was in the show. Remember the last episode of Justice League Unlimited?
Where it was Darkseid and Luthor together, teaming up, and then they teleport?
Yes. But remember, Darkseid came back because Luthor didn't want to live without Brainiac. So he went out into the space and tried to collect all the Brainiac pieces. And he's like, I got them. And then it turned out to be Darkseid. Right. And then they teamed up together to go answer the unanswerable question or something.
But you're right, yeah, it does touch up a lot of the show. So if you saw the show, you more appreciate this book.
I appreciate it a lot.
And you get a lot of that. You're going to get another moment in the next story, which is in Batman Beyond. For here, it's still Old Man, Man-Bat. Remember, we got a big cliffhanger in the previous months where Bruce comes in, and now it's Bruce back with Terry because they had their little fit. Terry acting like Robin.
Acting like a woman.
Like a Robin.
Well, yeah, okay.
Not like a Batman. And he gets that, I think, from the previous Robin, or Dick Grayson, not Nightwing.
Robin.
My name's Nightwing. No, you're still Robin. You'll always be Robin. Knock it off. And you'll always be in Batman's shadow. Okay, now,
just
let's
take
continue.
some Midol and calm down. I'm so bad.
I don't know what that is.
Midol's what you take for PMS and cramps.
Oh, well. That'll help out Nightwing. It's a good thing. You're helping him out, Kelly. It's great. But Old Man-Bat, he's got a new squeeze in this.
He does. Good for him. He's an old man. He's with that foxy young lady.
Which at first you were like, ew, she's kissing him. He's like a Man-Bat thing. And then later on you realize she's a oh, well, not a man. She's a bat woman creature.
She's a man-woman.
He might be into that. I don't know.
And I'm like, good for them. Just be who they are.
This is more diverse now. I love it.
They're reaching everyone. She does. She turns herself into a man bat? A woman bat?
Yeah, whatever it is. Mm-hmm.
But I think he's just with her because she's like a mindless follower. He's still thinking of Francine.
You think so?
I think so. Because she goes up on the roof, she's like, you're thinking about her again, aren't you? And he says something I don't even remember. But to the effect of, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, or he says he's thinking about his plan or his work or whatever. But maybe it is Francine, yeah. I hope we find out what happens to her. Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to her, because we don't know. But Old Man Bruce goes up against a shit ton of Man-Bats alongside Terry. Not Batman, Terry.
I think Bruce kicked more ass than Terry did.
He did.
He's an old man. He's like, look at my cane.
Because he says, Terry's like, how are you going to fight them? Batman says, the old-fashioned way. And he throws batarangs and knocks those motherfuckers out. Meanwhile, Terry runs off and draws like one of them away from Bruce. Bruce throws like 7 batarangs and
He
knocks
draws
those
the
guys out.
retarded one off of Bruce.
They're like, why is he following that one? Why don't we go after Batman? No, isn't that Batman? Yeah, sure, that's Batman. Go chase after that flying rocket booth Batman.
Rocket booth?
Boots, yeah.
A rocket booth. So like a photo booth, but with rockets?
I did like when Batman did have like that cane though, but he uses his batarang. It's like, yeah, you guys thought he was gonna beat you with this? No, he's got a fucking batarang.
He's gonna hit you in the eye with his batarang. That was pretty cool though. Awesome old man Bruce moment.
Yeah, because Batman should still be in action. Because he's never gonna take a backseat. He hates that
No.
shit. He was depressed when he did it in the animated series. When he had that heart attack and he had to use the gun, he hated it. When he finally got out of that funk, right back into it. And you saw it in the previous comic too, when he made those Batman robots that would surveil the city. He was going to be in there. He was going to control these guys from the Bat computer. And just, if Terry's not going to do it, and if I don't let him do it, then I'm just going to do it myself with these robots. Very similar to, I think it's Kingdom Come. You saw that. I think that's probably where they pulled it from, but pretty awesome. Good book, Batman
It was
Beyond
great.
Universe, number 6.
Definitely loving this arc.
One of your favorite characters is coming up here.
Yes, Harley Quinn number 2, written by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti with art by Chad Hardin.
Controversy behind this book, too.
There's a whole bunch. I will say I did like the second issue better than the first, but not as much as number 0.
Yeah, I think number 0 is probably going to be the best in this series because it was something different. It wasn't trying to tell like its own complete story. It's just like a cute book with all these different artists making fun of themselves and making fun of the writers, Jimmy and Amanda. But now that we have a story, and this is what I said after the first issue, like the first issue is the setup, and it was still fun to read and go through. But now is when we're starting to get into the fun of it, and that's what I think what made number 2 so enjoyable is that it captured that feeling of the animated series with Harley and Ivy.
Yeah, except a lot more innuendo.
And that's the controversy. If you go on Twitter and you follow Jimmy, he responds to quite a number of people, a lot of which actually do their own reviews and didn't like the book because of things like that.
I thought it was harmless fun. Like, if anybody read Sirens, yeah, Ivy's got a thing for Harley.
Right, where were they at that point? Like, they're acting like this is the first time. They're saying that Jimmy and Amanda are trying to make Harley and Ivy bisexual, or they're trying to make them gay, or they're sexualizing the two characters. Yeah, what did you think the animated series was? Paul Dini and Bruce Timm have been doing that for fucking years. Every chance they get, they make them like, you know, gay together, and that's fine. Or even sometimes they're like really close sisters. It depends on how they're feeling that day. But
Depends on what kind of sisters you know.
Harley and Ivy sisters. But yeah, there's more of that in here, and it's no surprise. Again, if you've been reading these books since Paul and Bruce have been doing them, they've been doing like that, you know, where they kiss each other or where they're showering together. Yes, it's happened.
They sleep in their underwear all the time. I don't think Harley was ever dressed when they were in the same house.
Even in the animated series,
Yeah,
they were
that's what
wearing
I'm talking
just
about.
just a
a
shirt.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now the reviewers are saying that Ivy was too mean-spirited because she has the guy that's getting eaten by the plant.
She doesn't give a fuck.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny.
They thought they're taking it way too seriously. I think that's part of the fun, and I think it's the kind of comedy that you would see from Bruce or Paul Dini.
I agree. Just to point out some of the innuendo, though, so nobody will be surprised. Remember Harley's crazy charred beaver that I don't really like? He's still in here. He takes a back seat. But Ivy comes over, and the first thing Harley says is, "You want to see my beaver?"
Yeah, and Ivy says, like,
Really?
Yeah.
Right now?
And it's funny, and most reviewers were like, come on. Like, they're trying too hard to make this sexy. It's like, again...
I don't even think he was trying to make it sexy. Like,
I think it's intentional.
I think it was just, I mean, yeah, okay, that line was intentional, but I think he meant it to be funny.
Right.
Because that's hilarious. I don't know, I died laughing. There was something else. What was the other part that I thought was so funny? With Harley and Ivy. It was very blatantly Harley, or Ivy, wanting Harley.
When she kisses
On the
Harley?
cheek in the
Yeah.
morning? No, there was something else. Oh, when Ivy first shows up, and Harley goes, "I don't know if I want to kill you or kiss you." And Ivy goes, "Kisses, please."
Because you obviously don't want to get killed. Come on, guys.
okay, I'm sure that's what she meant.
So it was a good book. I liked Harley Quinn number 2.
I did, I really liked it as well.
And the final DC book we're going to cover is Justice League number 27. It is a Forever Evil tie-in, Written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reis and Joe Prado.
This one largely focuses on Cyborg and his rehabilitation and becoming Cyborg again.
Cyborg 2.0.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Boom, baby. Right? Isn't that?
Yeah, that's
Teen
what
Titans?
he always said. Booyah. This I thought was a really good issue. I know you didn't like it as much as I did.
Right. I feel like it was more of a kind of an issue to just try to redesign the character from what Jim Lee originally drew, because they give him a slimmer design. But I mean, I did like that he kind of settled his relationship with his dad. His father really blames himself a lot for the condition that he's in. And here it's that moment where Cyborg says, initially I hated you for it, but now this is what I want. This is all I want. I want to help Batman, who's out there by himself trying to take... He's more than capable, but I want to be a part of that help. You know, he just so wants to just be a hero with Batman. And he gets his new upgrade, his new suit, his new everything.
I think it was really good for his character development. I like to see that because up until this point, we've always... Yeah, we got to see Cyborg become Cyborg and how he didn't want it. But after that moment, it was all... I'm all-knowing, you know, I'm great, I'm connected to everything, I can help with everything. And now we're getting to see him understand, you know, he's cut off from everything in this moment. And one of the greatest, I kind of felt like Cyborg today. But anyway, one of my favorite moments was when he was like, it's so quiet. You know, I don't have everything in my head at a Cyborg moment today because I was at work and I didn't have on my radio. And I'm like, I'm so alone. Where are the voices? So I understand what he's going through. But I love to see that moment and then, you know, him to come to the understanding that this isn't a burden anymore. This is a gift. And after they stop these guys, you know, he's going to be reconnected. And his dad says you can never be disconnected ever again after you reconnect. And he understands this is what I have to do to keep the world safe. And to see that sacrifice and to walk with him through that, I thought it was paced really well. And it added more to a character that I don't think we had seen as much of.
Yeah, if you're a huge Cyborg fan, if you like the character at all, this is definitely a must-buy for you. If not, though, at the very end of it, you do get a tease as to what Jeff Johns is going to touch up on, and if you pick up the previous catalogs at all, you'll know what this is. It's the return of the Metal Men. It's going to be the new 52 Metal Men, right into, I think it's going to be a part of Forever Evil. If not, definitely a Justice League side story or a backstory, similar to how they did it with Shazam.
Mm-hmm. But that is actually it for our comic books this week. Did you have a pass?
A pass of the week? I don't think I do, actually. No pass of the week.
I don't either. But just to reiterate, our pick of the week was Batman number 27.
And I guess our main Twitter question of the week will be, aside from all the other smaller ones, but the main one will be, if you think that the Powerpuff Girls number 6 variant should have been pulled, or if you found it to be sexualized in any way.
Yep, definitely let us know what you think on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke, #ReasonsI'mBroke.
The Reasons I'm Broke, episode number 72, was brought to you again by MegaCon 2014. You can find your tickets at megaconvention.com. This will do it for this week, though.
Thank you all for listening. As we mentioned, we're on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke, but also check us out on YouTube. We put up unboxings, and our podcast goes up there as well. Just search The Reasons I'm Broke.
If you need an app for whatever device you have, you can download Stitcher. Find us on Stitcher, subscribe, and you can have the latest episodes downloaded straight to your phone or tablet device.
You can also listen to us on iTunes. Make sure you leave a comment and a rating. This helps other people find us as well.
Also on Facebook. Just brand new page added, yep.
We're catching up with the times. Forget MySpace.
If you don't have Twitter, you can also find us on Facebook. I put up a lot of the pictures mainly, but also links to the YouTube videos, to the Stitcher account, and to the iTunes page. Find us on Facebook. Just search The Reasons I'm Broke. Like us on Facebook.
But that will do it for us this week. Thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. We love to hear your comments and ratings on the podcast. As always, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.